Alright, so I've been meaning to make this video for quite a few months now, to be honest with you. Like, I'm really excited to talk about this, and I talked about it before when it was a lot more fresh, but now there is, I believe, 14 chapters translated as of the recording of this video, and I'm talking about the series The Promised Neverland. This series right now, okay, this series, it has so much potential, so much promise, and already in 14 chapters, it continues to progressively improve in quality and suspense and plot twists, and honestly, the series just, it shocked the shit out of me, because at first glance, when I first read the first couple chapters, it was like, okay, let's see where this goes. It did have a couple familiar elements that we've seen in a couple different series, you know, the orphans and things of that nature, whatever. But in case you don't know about the series, just briefly to give you an idea of what it's about, there's an orphanage of, you know, children and whatnot, and essentially there's three main characters. There's Emma, Norman, and Ray, and they stumble upon some stuff about this orphanage that isn't right, and seemingly there's people that are being killed. So when they reach a certain age, the children, they get sent off, but in actuality they're being killed, they're being slaughtered, and they want to find a way to escape out of there and ultimately, you know, save their own lives and potentially save as many as they possibly can of the children with them. The main antagonist of the series is Mama, but there is another antagonist that shows up that is essentially her servant. And honestly, the mind games in this series, like if I had to compare this series to something, it is basically like a baby Death Note. And Death Note, the good Death Note I'm talking about, because the suspense, the twists, the turns that they've done in only 14 chapters. That's like, what, a volume and a half if you want to split it up, maybe 2 volumes or whatever. We've had just incredible twists and turns, and it just continues to get better. Now, you never know, you know, in 5 chapters it could all tank and stuff like that. I'm not a fortune teller, but based on what we've gotten thus far with this manga, the creators, which I believe there's 2 people working on it, they've just been impeccable with everything. Like, again, it reminds me of Death Note, but a modern day Death Note, in a sense of like, this is the way they're telling it. It's not, you know, ripping off anything. It just really has a lot of those fights within the mind. It's not necessarily, you know, you got to throw punches and shit like that. They're constantly trying to outsmart Mama. They're planning. They're trying to get their escape ready. And then there's just so many suspenseful turns. And I really am trying to be as vague as possible because I don't want to spoil it for you. I just want to highly recommend everybody watching this video, if you haven't checked out The Promised Neverland, to check it out, because essentially we've had basically like what seemingly is 2 arcs, I think maybe 3 arcs or something like that, but it all feels like it, you know, continues the same way. It's like, you know, they're trying to get ready to escape and get everything planned out, because even if they escape this orphanage, there's still monsters essentially that are waiting for them out there that they could potentially be killed. It's kind of like, I guess in a way, think of like Attack on Titan. Like, they already have it bad within the walls, there's corruption and shit like that, but then once they get over the walls, they have shit to worry about as well. So in that regard, you can think of it as like, you know, that type of environment. And I love how much of a great villain so far Mama's been, that she's very strategic. She's been basically playing nice with all the kids their entire lives, like, you know, I'm Mama, I love you, I care for you. Meanwhile, she's just breeding them for execution essentially, and to feed them off to these monsters that we've seen in some of the first chapters. And at first glance, between the main characters, we have 3 main characters again: Emma, Ray, and Norman. I will say the only part of this entire series that so far I'm not that fond of is the main character, Emma. She's kind of just like, think of Naruto, you know, all the, we gotta do everything by the books and we gotta make sure we save everybody and stuff like that. That's the only thing about the series that I'm not that fond of. But Norman and Ray, especially after a certain point, you get to really see the distinguished elements of each character. They're fucking awesome. You got them, they're really intelligent guys, but at the same time, they're also different in a certain way, which, again, I'm trying to be vague because I really don't want to spoil this shit for you. I think you guys really enjoy this one, and it's just fucking awesome. It really is. Like, I've seen series come and go and jump, and I've seen, you know, this and that. Like, this is one of those series that it's coming in with quality writing. It's trying its best to be different, but at the same time, it's not going too different to the point where it's just like, what are you doing? It's making a lot of sense. And honestly, I'm curious where this manga is going to go, because there's a couple different routes. Of course, it could be that it ends with their escape. It could be that they escape and then they got to worry about the problems outside. It honestly just feels like this is a breath of fresh air for Shonen Jump. It seems as though it has maybe a tad tad bit of an element of horror because like Mama's assistant, just like honestly the way she acts and shit like that is fucking insane. And also we have the monsters outside, but then again the strategic battle of the minds and shit like that is what I really love about it. And honestly the pacing, some people were arguing, I've seen, you know, from time to time that they were like, oh, it's a bit too slow because people want them to immediately, you know, escape or try their escape and shit like that. But I think the pacing is very, very nice because it's going at a great pace to slowly set things up, so when they finally do attempt their first escape or, you know, their final escape, it's gonna be great. And again, I just had to highly recommend The Promised Neverland. 14 chapters in, I really, really hope Jump doesn't fucking shoot this one in the foot because it has so much promise. Yeah, I know what I did there. So much promise, so much potential, and right now it's fucking awesome. It's one of the best new things in Jump. I mean, I talked about Red Sprite, but Red Sprite seemingly is going to be getting the axe soon. It keeps on getting bottom. Then we also had Love Rush, but Love Rush, from what I seen and what I heard, it was fucking horrible and it ended as well. But Promised Neverland, one of the best new titles in Jump, and I'm expecting greatness from it. As long as Jump doesn't rush it, it'll fucking do some amazing things. Because right now, again, think Baby Death Note mixed with holy shit kind of Attack on Titan in a sense of what the fuck we're gonna do once we escape, if we escape. But let me know what you guys think. If you haven't read The Promised Neverland, did I sell you into checking it out? At least a couple chapters. If you have, what do you think about the characters? What do you think about Norman and Ray? Do you feel the same way in regards to Emma? She's too like that Naruto, like, we gotta do everything and, you know, I believe in my orphan way. And your overall thoughts of all this, I really highly recommend you check out The Promised Neverland. I'm really enjoying it. There's no, you know, nobody's asking me, hey, you should totally, you know, this is all because I really fucking enjoy it, and I want to let a lot of you guys get in on the fun that I'm having. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.